It took a global pandemic to make us reach out to each other, to bring us all closer, to make us keep in touch. What will it take to make people leave me alone? I have been added to so many group chats. It's quite overwhelming, to be honest with you. I didn't think I had that many friends. Week 3 of the IsoLayton Chronicles, and I'm really enjoying watching normal TV people essentially become vloggers. They're hitting all the same beats that we did, just in like an accelerated evolution process. Like there's a man on the BBC who has literally been embellishing his background with each news report. He even moved frame recently, and now he's got a lovely globe and a hi-fi. It's not going to be long before he puts up fairy lights. I was thinking about it though, and I guess normal TV has been dipping its toes into our world for ages. Like, what's carpool karaoke if not a giant collab channel? It's basically TikTok on speed. Like, imagine how many views I'd get if my friends were Lady Gaga and Celine Dion. I'll imagine it. Remember that one week when Gwen Stefani was on and George Clooney and Julia Roberts just got in the back seat? That's cheating. Also, I'm getting a particular pleasure out of watching the late night hosts really struggle with it. All the baggy pauses and the bad lighting. It's like they're only now coming to realise that people like me do everything they do, but backwards in heels and having to light edit and host everything myself. It's not easy, is it, lads? Maybe when things go back to normal, you let me try your job and watch me do it better than you. This week's crisis has taken the shape of me trawling the internet for cowboy boots and hovering over the buy now button. I mean, why not? What have I got to lose? I've already got the beard, I've got the aviator sunglasses, I've even got a beer gut. Except I don't drink beer, so mine's more of a Haribo gut. On the beard, I'm still trying to figure it out. It's quite fair, you see, so I cut it close, but it didn't really look like it was there. This bit's darker than the rest of it, so maybe I'll get some beard dye. That's where I'm at, and if I had to guess, I'd say we're about 2 weeks away from me cutting my own hair, so mark your calendars. I really do like the idea of fitness. I own so much athleisure wear, and I watch the wrestling and I see them do all of the push-ups and all of the sweating, and it seems like exquisite torture. I did do a personal training session once. We went to a park by my flat, and 15 minutes in, I nearly vomited all over the swings. As I was doing laps of the park, I couldn't help but think about cake, and if you'll allow me, I'd like to draw another chart. So, on this axis, we have effect on body, and on this axis we have amount of pleasure, and that goes from 0 down here to lots. Science. So let's start with exercise, right? Say you do an hour-long personal training session, just one. The effect that one session is going to have on your body is like here, right? And the amount of pleasure it gives you is also quite low. So we're going to put that there. Similarly, if one day you eat 3 slices of cake and that one day comes in isolation, it tastes delicious, and it's not going to do the most worst, is it? Well, the effect on your body is going to similarly, realistically, be quite low. However, the pleasure is going to be lots, so you go there. But then you have to think about longevity, because I hear from fitness people all the time, and even if they're buff stuff, they're like, that was buff stuff. They're like, oh, that workout was so tough, I nearly passed out. Or they're like, oh, I feel that tomorrow, I'll need an ice bath. An ice bath? So sure, you might look like a Greek Adonis, but that level of pleasure is not going up, so the line is going to stay there, isn't it, basically? But I proffer that eating cake is never not a good time. And sure, the effects on your body might be not good. In this case, the 100 means bad. Don't tell me that's not how graphs work. So the effect on the body might be 100, but the pleasure stays right up here. I mean, look, you can't argue with that. It's just maths. To be clear, that was for comedy. I feel like there's going to be a lot of performance/guilt being bandied about on social media for the foreseeable. Not like there wasn't before, it's just concentrated, you know? Like, okay, Sandra, you've made a sourdough loaf, you've Marie Kondoed your entire closet, and you're on your 5th hit session of the week. I'm genuinely happy for you, and thank you for sharing. If I was in a good place, I'd like the hell out of it. But I found today quite difficult, and for lunch I had 3 grab bags of kettle chips and washed them down with a family-sized orange juice straight from the carton. And sometimes, not always, but now and again, I think both of those are okay. It's just easier to make Sandra's look nicer on Instagram. Believe me, I've tried. So I would just like to say, whichever day yours is, whether you're getting in a workout and feeling yourself, or you're gonna fire up the stove because you need some comfort food, that's fine. Both of those days are within all of us. I think my natural instinct is to chastise myself and make myself feel awful, and isolation encourages that. But we mustn't feel guilty. These are hard times, and we can't be perfect. There are 2 quotes that I quite like that feel relevant. The first is what Adrian from Yoga with Adrian always says, which is find what feels good, and I like to take that off the yoga mat as well. If what feels good is a cleansing downward dog, namaste, get right on it. If what feels nice is curling up in a ball and watching Harry Potter, go ahead, my love, that's what I did last night. And the other is Oscar Wilde, everything in moderation, including moderation. And to that end, I've got a cake to finish. So I'm gonna leave you with Queen Nigella. This is my favourite Nigella. It is a commonplace to talk of cooking as being therapeutic, and there are times when that is the case, but for me, cooking stems from an engagement with life, which in itself combines hopefulness and playfulness. I have always believed that food you cook for yourself is essentially good for you. This is not just because real ingredients are better for you than fake foods, but because the act of cooking for yourself is, in itself, a supremely positive act, an act of kindness. When I cook, I am absorbed in the simple rituals of chopping, stirring, tasting, losing myself in the world of flavour, sensation, and straightforward practicalities. What and how we cook can make our lives easier, make us feel better and more alive, and connect us to ourselves, to others, and the world.